Hey, it's Andre, and this is another Friday Flying Update. Send props! I hope I didn't hit my really expensive lens, because that would suck. Still up. Turn off air mode. I think I hit my camera. Who? Post! Dang it! I never said I was a good pilot. So, got out at lunch to fly the scrappy quad real quick, and oh man, I'm out of practice. And that was one of the master air screws, which I promptly shattered. I hit that bird feeder post really well. So, in my own defense, I'm getting used to a new set of goggles, a new camera style, new quad-ish. And yeah, I did a good number on it. Anyhow, I very quickly have learned just how out of date I am as far as prop technology goes. And it's a little alarming, a little scary, and a little sad, because I have like an absolute bin full of old props that are, well, almost, I wouldn't say they're useless. I would never call any of this stuff useless, but you certainly have to curtail how you're going to use them, because when I was first dialing in this quad, which has now been updated to, I've taken that ACE32 board and I've updated it to the last beta flight version I could put on it. Believe it or not, I have, and I'll put that in the link somewhere, I have ordered a 30 board, or 30 by 30 millimeter flight controller with OSD. Oh my goodness. But yeah, send props? I don't know. I'm going to look into ordering some stuff. I'm getting lots of good advice, but for now I'm going to run all the old blunt nose style props and everything, some DLLs, 5-inch props. I'm just going to run what I've got until I run out, and when I need to do a big order from someone, I'll put in for some props and we'll go from there. So this weekend, it's what is it? It's just after 4 o'clock, so I'm done for Friday. Finally, we still got daylight, so we're starting to eke back some of that daylight. Tomorrow looks like it's going to be low wind, stupid cold, and overcast, so it's not going to be this nice shooting day, but I'm planning to get out. I think this quad's going to come out, and I'll take out the little multi-RC Shenanigan 150 and just burn off a bunch of packs. When I did this flight, this thing was on 3S and just a little low power, low C volt pack. So I was just putzing around the yard, trying it out, getting used to that camera and everything. So we'll get it out for into some more open space and see what I can do with it. See how I can open it up and have some fun. And yeah, everything about it's old. Maybe I'll switch the antenna to something a little bit more stubby and go from there. And same thing with this guy. I updated the firmware, the flight controller board stuff, and it's going to get the same board that I picked up for this guy, so I will at least have a little bit more modern processing power and OSD, which is ultimately what I'm after. So, yeah, thanks for all the feedback and everything on the bench series. I think bench time, hangar time, bench time, I really don't know what name I'm going to go with, but lots of people seem to comment on it and like the fact that I tore into this airplane and showed it off, something that really hasn't been seen in the industry in a long time. So I think the Albatross is next, and I'm just going to go work through the entire fleet, doing all the maintenance and everything. And like I highlighted in the video, that one servo got stuck from staying idle for so long, so maybe I need to, implement one of these things where it's like service time, and just take all the airplanes out and wiggle the sticks on them and just exercise all those components so they don't lock up over time. So really not 100% sure what I'm going to fly airplane wise next week. I'm working on the Pawnee. I re-glued the landing gear, but I ripped out I wouldn't say I ripped out a lot of foam, but like going in, I noticed the plane isn't sitting level anymore. So I think I'm going to try and put a little bit more force in there and see if I can get that glue to set a little better. Maybe even some hot glue to help just hold everything and lock it into place. So we'll see from there. Podcast, it went okay. It wasn't my greatest delivery, I don't think. But you know, I wanted to get it out there. So anybody who listened to it, fill out that survey for the podcast. So when we do the show when I do the show on the 31st, there's some content about as far as the best of 2020, if there is a best of 2020. Recently got in a spool of Overture TPU in dark blue. Going to try it, and I think I'm going to actually use the A8 versus the Sapphire, because the Sapphire's got a Bowden style system for the feeding, where the A8's more direct drive. We'll play around with it. I've read a couple and I've watched a couple of reviews on YouTube of how to set that up and go with that particular 3D printer. And I figure if I get that one printer set up for TPU, maybe that's all it's going to do in its future is just do TPU prints. I've got a couple things I want to try with it, and that'll be the first time printing with anything but PLA. So that should be a new exciting experience. And if that works out, I'll totally do a YouTube video or do a little demo video of it. So yeah. So it looks like this weekend will be some quads, maybe a plane, maybe I'll take out a few trucks and we'll just bomb around and do some content. I want to keep shooting and working with the DJI camera, the Osmos. I figured out how to set up the stabilization so I won't be so darn shaky in the cold, and we'll just go from there. I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to do or if there's going to be any videos at all, but obviously with the quads I can roll. The footage you saw in the intro highlight was the GoPro. Where is that GoPro? Yeah, the 7 is back, which is really fantastic news from the production standpoint. It looks like it was an issue with the actual battery socket inside the camera, so we took it out and wedged a piece of plastic underneath it, or unscrewed it and put it. And then Frank, a while back, Swiss Frank, sent me the Split 2S S2. And that's where the footage was from this on board, and the resolution was pretty darn good actually for what this quad is. So I'm almost sad that I put it into a quad versus an airplane. But when I tried to stick it into an airplane, it was, how do I mount this thing up and everything. So anyhow, it's going to live in scrappy quad for a little while, at least for the winter, and we'll get out and do some flying on this guy. Again, this one will be on 4S tomorrow and not the weaker 3S. So we'll see what airplanes I pulled out and everything. So there you go. Just a very light and simple Friday flying update. But, everybody have a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you on the other side. Thanks. Shattered those props. Oh well, that's all I did. That's fine.